I'm also learning now, co-founder and executive director of EaseMyTrip, Nishant Pitti is also now joining us on the broadcast. Mr. Pitti, I would like to know from you, first of all, we do understand there has been much outrage and condemnation of the kind of language that was used for Prime Minister Modi's visit to Lakshadweep by the Maldives ministers. And now we want to understand from you, what is it that prompted EaseMyTrip to take this decision?
Well, firstly, thank you for having me on the show. EaseMyTrip being the second largest travel portal, we thought that we owe it to the nation to do the right thing and support the country. We believe that this is nothing short of a proxy war between India and China, of what's happening between Maldives and, Lakshadweep standoff. Our honorable Prime Minister, visited Lakshadweep. He did not mention anything about Maldives in his tweet, in his social media campaign. Yet it was taken very negatively by multiple representatives of Maldives government, representatives. And that was, we thought, was completely uncalled for. There were a lot of derogatory remarks made for India and for our honorable Prime Minister. Plus, there was also a challenge that India can never develop something like Maldives. Now, we beg to differ on that particular perspective. We believe that Lakshadweep and many other places in India can be much, much better than other international tourism destinations like Maldives. And we believe that our honorable Prime Minister has done the right thing by promoting Lakshadweep at a very timely manner. And it would be our request to our PM to take some time off of his busy schedule and do travel to such exotic locations within India. There are multiple places within India who has never gotten the credit which they are due of. And we look forward to contribute to this particular nation-building exercise. We believe that business should always come second and the nation should come first. We have already demonstrated that multiple times in our past by taking bold decisions in the past as well. And we look forward to grow Maldives as one of the hot tourist destinations, not just for India, but for the worldwide. And in respect to that, EaseMyTrip.com has launched 5 packages on its website, which people can avail. We are also speaking to various airlines to see if we can increase the direct connectivity between the mainland cities.
That's the point I was coming to actually. You do understand, while this is quite unfortunate what has transpired between Maldives and India, there is much that needs to be done to boost tourism to Lakshadweep with regards to direct airlines as well as, for comfortable stay of the tourists in Lakshadweep. There is much more that needs to be done. Of course, there is, we are not going to compare Maldives with Lakshadweep, which many have been doing and which is absolutely unfortunate to do so with regards to what is happening. But there is definitely much more that needs to be done to boost tourism to Lakshadweep.
Absolutely. And to do so, we have taken a stance as a company. We are speaking to various airlines to see if we can increase the direct connectivity. There are multiple hotel chains who are considering Lakshadweep as an opportunity. And plus, we believe that with the speed which this government has created, an international airport at Ayodhya in 20 months' time, we believe that it's a long battle, but it can be won. And Lakshadweep has a very good potential to become not just the favorite destination within India, but can also attract a lot of international tourists as well.
Mr. Pitti, I would also like to revisit some of the tweets that were made by the Maldives ministers. In one of the tweets, it was said that the rooms in Lakshadweep hotels, they smell foul. Well, it's not as comfortable the stay that Maldives can provide to tourists as, is being advertised about Lakshadweep. What would you say about that? I mean, this is something that was, of course, not expected, and action, of course, has been taken by the Maldives government also against those who made such tweets. But how do you see this, and what can be done to improve the situation?
See, Maldives is predominantly dependent on tourism as primary driver of its GDP. 30% of Maldives GDP is dependent on tourism, and India substantially adds to that particular domain for Maldives. Now, if their ministers do not care about Indians visiting and can say derogatory remarks about our country, about the capacity and the capability of this country, about our honorable PM, we believe that we should also not care so much about Maldives as a tourist destination. And we have always seen a trend where people are always eyeing for a newer location. 5, 6 years ago, Mauritius was one of those exotic locations. Now, the social media has created Maldives as one of those locations. I believe that it was actually very aptly timed that the people can actually move on from Maldives and can try newer locations like Lakshadweep and Andaman within our country.
Well, absolutely. That's a very important point that you've raised here, and many have been saying the same, that on social media also the kind of tweets that we've been looking at from people, from Indians who say that they're going to boycott Maldives, and explore the pristine beaches of Lakshadweep now. That is definitely a very good step and in the right direction. Well, what do you think, the kind of campaign that we've been talking about that's been running on social media also, boycott Maldives, and your company is also now following the same, I believe. How do you think this is going to go? Are you, trying to set the standard, or how do we see this?
See, it would be our humble request that the fellow travel companies do follow this suite and consider promoting our own destinations over international destinations like Maldives, especially the ones who are not really respectable to our citizens and to our Prime Minister. We believe that it's a long battle, but we personally have a very strong belief that India has already taken steps in creating 2 international destinations. One is Lakshadweep and the other one is Ayodhya. Ayodhya can be the next Vatican City for the world. It can be one of those religious places where people from all across the world, not just the Hindus, but all across the world can come and visit and have a look at the magnificent facilities which we are creating over there. And overall, India definitely needs to have much more contribution coming from tourism sector in its GDP. And EaseMyTrip, being one of the largest one, is eyeing towards creating value for the country first.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Pitti, for speaking to us and sharing your thoughts with us.